Hello, welcome back to the vlog. It is lovely to see you again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. This week, we are just going to be cozy, at home, living slowly, living seasonally. We're going to make some nice food. We are about to take Daphne out on a lovely little dog walk just by the house. There's so many lovely little walks around my house that we never utilise because you feel like you should get away from the house, go to the beach, do all of these things because you have so little time off at weekends. But truth be told, it's January. Everyone's skint, or, well, I am anyway. I'm skint. There's just so much going on in December that life just tends to get away from me because work's so busy. There's people to see, there's things to do, there's plans to make, there's Christmas shopping to do. And I know lots of people get the January blues. I like to take January as a time to relax, reflect, unwind. Work is quieter, no one's really making any plans. Yesterday I worked from home yesterday, and as soon as I finished work, I tidied the house and I sat down and read this book. We used to live here, which I'll talk to you about at the end of the vlog, because I know some people, including my own mother, like to turn off when I talk about bookish content. So I will talk about this at the end of the video. But yeah, just spending an entire day reading a book in one sitting felt like such a beautiful, luxurious thing to do. And I absolutely loved it. Excuse me if I keep touching my nose. I've said this before in a vlog, but in the morning I'm allergic to cats. And for those of you who don't know, I have a cat called Paula, a little rescue cat with 3 legs, and I love her so much, but I have always been allergic to cats. So until my antihistamine kicks in the morning, my nose itches like crazy. So if you think it's gross that I keep touching my nose, I do apologise. I'll try and edit out as much of my nose touching as I can, but it's so itchy. Anyway, so yeah, I just like to treat January as a time for slow living as much as possible. I mean, I still work full time, so I can only do slow living to a limit. But I was away in Liverpool last weekend, so that was tacked on to the end of Christmas. And this weekend, we have no plans. I've cleaned the house, and I just feel ready to make some lovely hearty food, get out on dog walks, stay in pyjamas all day, obviously not on the dog walk. So in this vlog, we are going to hibernate together. Towards the end of the vlog, I thought I could sit down and just do a few little sort of Q&A questions, because I feel like a vlog and I assume that everyone knows me, but they don't. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I'd just tell you some little answer some little questions about myself, about my life towards the end of the vlog. I don't love like a full, do you know if someone puts up a Q&A instead of a vlog, I tend to not really watch it. That's not my thing, maybe it's your thing, but I don't love like a Q&A vlog, so I didn't want to do like a solely Q&A one. So I thought I'd just tack that on to the end of this video, and then we'll chat about that crazy book that I've just read. Anyway, so I'm going to throw some clothes on. I'm going to wrap up really warm. It's a beautiful day here today. It's really sunny, but it's really crisp and frosty. It's like the perfect winter day. So we're going to do that, nip to the shops, and I'm going to make a baked gnocchi for tea. I'm going to make like a homemade tomato and vegetable sauce, and then bake some cheesy gnocchi in the oven, and it's going to be heaven. And I will write my recipe that I've made up in the description. It's super easy to make because you can just kind of make it in your own way. I tend to make this or a soup at the weekend with any veg that I've got left over from the shop the week before. So any like carrots, tomatoes, onions, anything that's like on its last legs that we don't want to go to waste, I just make them into a pasta sauce or a soup or something like that. So I'm going to do baked gnocchi today, because after a cold wintry walk, I just think it's going to be a delicious thing to eat. So I'll stop talking your ear off. I will go and get dressed, and we will get this puppy out on a walk. What do you think, Daphne? I'll show you Daphne. Hold on. She's waiting very patiently. What do you think, Daphne? Should we go on a walk? Yeah? Come on then, let's go. That's a big stick. That's the biggest stick ever, you sausage. Golden fields in the light, combines rolling it by, goes so straight to the end, feeding trailers they said, sunshine paints the land. We're back from our dog walk, aren't we, Daff? Here she is. We all love to see her. We're back from our dog walk. Daphne is good and tired, so that's good news, isn't it? She had a real good snuffle about. I think it's really nice to get your dogs out on walks that you don't do all the time. I feel like all the extra snuffling makes her sleepier, which can only be a good thing. So I think she'll probably have an afternoon nap now, won't you, Daff? Yeah? Off she goes. I actually think she's about to eat some breakfast, so you can probably hear her chomping away in the background, so I do apologise for that. I'm going to make myself, it's like 1 o'clock and I'm not eating yet. I'm not really a breakfast person. I tend just naturally not to eat till about lunchtime. I don't know what it is. I like coffee in the morning, but the thought of like facing food first thing, it's probably really unhealthy, but I don't know. Some people do like what's it called? Something fasting. Yeah, anyway, I don't do that on purpose. I have tried it before. And then when I know, right, that I can't eat, when I set myself that thing of you can't eat till 12, then I want to eat. But naturally, that's just what my body's like. I'm just not a breakfast person. She's rambling now. So I'm going to have some tea and toast now, and I'm going to sit down and watch one of my favourite YouTubers' vlogs. If you're looking for some new people, actually, other than me, to watch on YouTube. Some of my favourites are Caroline McQuiston. She lives on the Isle of Skye with her partner and her really cute dog Nuala. And she does lots of like dog walks, lots of cosy content. She's really nice to watch. I really like watching Ellen Miller. She does, again, cosy vlogs. And then she also does like bookish vlogs. We've not really got the same taste in books. She does lots of fantasy and romantasy. But I still think her videos are really cosy, so I tend to watch them anyway. Then my favourite for booktube is Jordaline Reid. She does reading vlogs. She does lots of horror and thriller, which is more my speed, book-wise. And I just love her. I think she's so funny. Actually, at the moment, I'm going through a phase of just having her, like, whole back catalogue of videos on in the background when I'm, like, doing stuff. Hello. And I get lots of my book recommendations from there. And then I also really enjoy Freya Farrington. She does lots of hauls, lots of cosy vlogs. And who else do I really like? Oh, and there's Hannah Adkins. She does lots of like really nice aesthetic videos, unlike me. She does, yeah, lots of really aesthetic things, cooking, dog walks, that kind of stuff. So I also enjoy watching her. If you have some favourite YouTubers as well, pop them in the comments, because I'm always on the hunt for new sort of cosy vlog or bookish content. So let me know. I'm going to go make some tea and toast, get cosy, and catch up on some vlogs that I've not watched this week. Daphne's having a breakfast.
The porch swing's empty, it creaks in the breeze. Memories flow like leaves through the trees. Your laughter lingers in the autumn air, but now it's just a whisper, no one's there. Coffee's gone cold in your face. favorite mark. Pictures on the mantle where we once.
Hi, it is Sunday morning. I didn't end up doing the baked gnocchi yesterday because the day just got away from me a bit. I sat down to edit my vlog and stuff, and then before I knew it, it was 5 o'clock, and then I'd kind of just been grazing on little bits all day. It got to tea time and I thought, I'm not hungry, so we're going to do that together today. I ended up just making my partner some like quiche and wedges and crispy sprouts, but I just wasn't hungry. So we're going to do the baked gnocchi today, and I'll pop the recipe in the description as I said, but it is real loosey-goosey. It's a real loosey-goosey recipe. So you can even buy a sauce for it if you don't want to make one. I'm just making the sauce because it's not the healthiest recipe because it's pretty cheesy and pretty potatoey. But at least if I make my own sauce, I know I've got some of that veg in there. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so we're doing that today. I started getting ready. I've got a bit of makeup on. I started getting ready because we were going to take the dog, Daphne, to her favourite park. But then my partner's mum and her husband, Davey, got in touch and said, do you mind if we come and pick Daphne up, because they've got a little dog called Jasper, who, if you watch my baking with my mother-in-law vlog, you will have met, and he loves to play with Daff. He gets so excited whenever they say her name, so they've had to stop saying her name in the house because he starts bouncing off the walls. So yeah, so we don't even need to go out on a big walk because she has just been out playing for like half an hour, bouncing around with Jasper. So I'll take her for a quick afternoon scoot around the park later on. But I can stay in my pyjamas. We were going to do the big shop today. My partner's feeling a bit chesty and throaty, so he's just upstairs with the lemon sip, and I'm making him a morning fry up. He's vegetarian, so it's like veggie sausage, hash browns, all the work. So I'm making him that. And we've got, you know, you just have like enough to make a couple of teas left. I'm so boring, aren't I? Enough to make a couple of teas from the previous week's big shop. So we've got that, we've got loads of bits. So we're just on Tuesday night on the way home. Gonna stop off and do the big shop then, because I just don't want to get dressed today. I don't mind throwing like my tracksuit on and nip into the park, but I don't want to get like dressed, go outside. I just feel like I want to rest. I feel like I enjoy the winter months. I do. Like, I love like the seasonal living. I love feeling like it's okay to hibernate and not do anything, because in the summer I feel there's a lot of pressure to always be outside, always doing stuff, making the best of the weather, if you get good weather. I mean, 2024 summer was a washout, wasn't it? Or at least it was. In the northeast, it was so rainy all summer. So I actually enjoy the part of the winter months where I don't feel like guilt about not getting up and getting out, because you've got to make the best of all weathers. However, getting up at 5 in the morning and heading out in the dark and the cold really takes it out of me, like energy level wise. It just, getting really cold makes me feel really tired. So I just think it's nice to make the best of the weekends where possible, to allow your body to be warm and feel restful and well fed, and yeah, all of that good stuff. This next week I've not been eating great since Christmas. I try and do a lot of cooking from scratch and stuff, but December was so busy at work that I just ended up eating for convenience most of the time. The takeaway bill has gone up a considerable amount. We were down to like 1 to 2 takeaways a month, and during December we were up to like 2 takeaways a week, which is not good for myself, not good for the bank balance, not good for feeling good. So this shop on Tuesday, I'm going to get all of the healthy, good stuff in. I'm going to start doing my healthy from scratch recipes again. But until then, we're eating baked cheesy gnocchi. So we've got a couple more days of being naughty. And then I'm going to start eating still really well, still not in a restrictive way. But just more fresh ingredients, more health. Because you are what you eat, aren't you? So that's my plan. I'm not doing any fad diets or anything. Although I would like to lose a few pounds, I'll be honest about that. But that's just how I feel in myself, energy levels and things. So after we've eaten all of the naughty things that are still in the house from Christmas, I've still got a few tubs of Quality Street. I'm going to start doing some more healthy from scratch recipes. If that's something that you're interested in, I will start adding more cooking into my vlogs, because I feel like everything I make on my vlogs is really unhealthy. Really unhealthy. But yeah, I'm waffling now. I'm going to go and make Sean breakfast. Today feels like a day for reading. It really does. Reading with the fire on. So anything bookish, as I said earlier, I will pop at the end of this vlog for those people who like to switch off for the bookish content, because it's not for everyone. I do understand that. I've been actually on the fence about creating a separate bookish vlog when I get a few more subscribers. Maybe. Let me know your thoughts on that, if bookish content is your thing, if you think that's a thing that's worth doing. But YouTube is a slow growth platform. So, or at least it is for me, I'm sure it's not for everyone. If you do enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. That would be so much appreciated while I'm trying to build this channel. I've got to go and make breakfast now anyway, so I'll speak to you soon. Gigantic veggie breakfast for the poorly man upstairs. These Richmond sausages, if you are veggie or you want to not eat so much meat, whatever, the Richmond sausages, there's no difference between them and the meat ones, I swear. No difference whatsoever. So get those if you've not tried them. Look at this baby, she's so tired from her walk. I know I said I wasn't doing the big shop, but I had to go to Co-op and just get those bits to tide us over for lunches and things. So because we're having that quite unhealthy gnocchi tonight, I just grabbed some broccoli to go with that. I needed some butter. This is a ball fest, sorry. And then I got this butternut squash and sage pasta. I don't know what night for, but everyone seems to do a version of this butternut squash pasta. The Aldi one is the one that I normally get because that's where I do my big shop, but the Co-op one is also really great, and I like to, again really unhealthy, when I cook that, just sprinkle a bit of blue cheese on top. Oh, it's heaven. Heaven. I got some egg mayonnaise sandwich filler for my partner. I got a chocolate croissant because I've not had any breakfast. He had that big fry up. I know that's unhealthy as well, but I did say I'll start on Tuesday when I do the big shop, because there'll be enough gnocchi that I make tonight to eat tomorrow. Spinach for my green juices in the morning. I do spinach, banana, and I have a green powder that I use. I just use whatever. I'll show you the one that I use. I use the Super Greens one by Protein Works. They have quite a lot of good sales on, and this bag lasts me for ages and ages. And I just put that in a smoothie for a morning green juice, because admittedly I'm not great at eating enough vegetables. So that just makes sure that my day is off to a good start. This is not an ad, by the way. That's just the one that I use. It doesn't taste, you can get a mango version, but I find it too sweet. That's really earthy, and I like the earthy flavour because I think I'm weird. I got 2 avocados, so I can do some avocado on toast. It says ready and right, but there are carbs. So I can do avocado on toast when I'm working from home on Friday. And then I just grabbed this for lunch tomorrow because I've not got anything in to make. It's just a pesto and pine nut salad. Cat food. The thrill ride continues, don't you worry. Some cold and flavor leaf powder for Sean. And then I got him some Jakeman's chest and throat sweets. Menthol lozenges. That's it. That's everything I got from the shop. I think right now I'm going to actually get the veg in the oven to roast for this gnocchi. So I'll talk you through what I'm going to do I have a bit of a cheat because I have a Ninja soup maker that I got as a gift. So I don't have a hand blender or anything. So the only difference between that and a food processor really is that as it like blends everything up, it heats it at the same time. So you can use it for like soup, or it has like a cold setting for smoothies. But I just use it for soup. It takes half an hour to make a smooth soup. But then the blag is that you do have to put it on the stove. And then season, because obviously when it's in there, you can't really season it as you go because you can't taste it. But I do love my soup maker. It makes it super smooth, so you don't have to have the mess of like doing a double strain or anything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to talk you through what I do, but if you don't need a soup maker for this. But I'm not going to make a soup. I'm going to make it super thick for like a sauce. So I'll get the shopping away, and then I'll get the veg out that I'm going to use, which is literally just whatever's left in the bottom of my fridge on a Sunday morning gets used in a soup or a sauce. So I'm literally just going to check out what I have in the drawers. I did buy some tomatoes for this. I normally do the on-vine tomatoes because my mum said that they're better, so that's what I do. I think they're like sweeter or something when they're on the vine. But I asked my partner to pick up some tomatoes, and he got salad tomatoes. One thing about Sean is that he will always go for the cheapest option. I mean, do you remember the pestle and mortar from last week? If you didn't see that vlog, I asked him to buy a pestle and mortar to grind up the dog's joint supplements. And this is what he bought. Look at the size of that. And he bought that because it was cheap. He didn't even look at the size. He just thought, that's cheap, that's what we're having. So that's why I'm using salad tomatoes for a soup. Garlic, what I do with the garlic, I'll show you, but I just chop the top off, put it in the middle, let it roast, and then once it's roasted you can just squeeze it out. I feel like you know that. I normally use red onions, but Sean bought white. I've got some carrots that are almost dead, so that'll go in. And I've got a bag of spinach that's on the turn. Obviously I won't roast that. So I'm just going to roast all of that up in the oven with a bit of olive oil on. I generally roast it for, I just kind of keep checking, but I guess it's around 45 minutes on 100 to 280. Sorry, 180 to 200. As a rule, I think most things cook in 25 minutes on 200 in an electric oven. But yeah, I just keep checking on it. So say 180 for about 45 minutes if you're doing this. I mean, none of this is a science. This is just me minimising food waste. So that's that really. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that. So all of that is roasted and ready to go in the oven. Not roasted, all that is chopped and ready to go in the oven. It's just super rough chopped. To that I've added some harissa, some garlic granules, not garlic salt, because when I add it to the soup maker I'm going to add some stock then, and once it's over salted there's not much you can do. And then I've put just a little bit of hot chili powder in. So that's going to go in the oven now for about 45 minutes. And I will show you the next step in a bit. My eyes are watering because of the onions, so I've got to go and get it in. Ugh.
Our old love's ghost, it haunts my days in every shadow, in every way. The barn out back's now silent and still, once filled with dreams we saw.
So, I desperately need to put the washing machine on. So I thought we'd do the little Q&A / show and tell portion of the video here. It'll only be quite short, because I don't know why, but I personally don't love a Q&A video. I just thought I'd keep this as a vlog and just add a little bit in, as it's a hibernation video. We're not really doing much. So I don't really have a following on Instagram, and that is where creators normally go to ask questions to people, see what they want to know. And although I do have a bit of a following on TikTok, it's not really the place on TikTok for me personally anyway. I've put like question videos on before, and TikTok isn't like built for that in the way that Instagram is, I guess. So I spoke to a couple of my friends, and my friend Kay suggested just telling you a little bit about myself, and then she also suggested just showing you some of my favourite corners of my living room, because she really loves my house. I don't know if my house is maybe an acquired taste. It kind of looks like a Victorian fortune teller lives here. But she suggested maybe I just give you a little bit more of a close-up of my fireplace, my gallery wall, and my little living room. So I'm going to do that, but I won't take up too much of your time with it. So first question, I think people wonder how old I am. I turned 40 last May, so I'm 41 this year. I used to live in Manchester. Well, I'm from Manchester, and then I've moved around quite a lot. I've lived in like France, Spain, Switzerland. I lived in London for a few years. I moved back to France again when I was like 30. Quite a really good job. That's a story for another day. Quite a really good job to go back to chalet hosting in France when I was 30. So that was a wild move. And I would say it was a mistake, but if I didn't make that mistake, I wouldn't be with the person that I'm with now, living the life that I'm living now with my beautiful animals. So nothing is a mistake, is it? It leads you to where you're meant to be, or at least that's true for me. I feel like this is where I'm meant to be. So that's nice. Yeah, so my partner is from Gateshead, just next to Newcastle, and when we got together, we were in a long distance relationship for a little bit, and then that second lockdown in COVID hit, and I came up to stay with him for Christmas, and then just after Christmas COVID hit again, and the job that I was doing at the time was I was just doing 16 hours a week from home, so I ended up staying here. So it came up for 2 weeks in December and ended up not leaving till May. Went back to Manchester, and then it felt crazy that after living together for those 5 months that we were going back to long distance. So I decided to make the move to come up here because there's more. Also, I said if I moved to Newcastle, can I get a dog? And he said yeah, so nothing else really on this list of things that I'm about to say actually mattered, because I really wanted Daphne. There's countryside so close, there's beaches so close. I love the northeast. It is easy to get on the property ladder here. I never would have been able to own a house in Manchester in a million years. I don't think I could have ever got on the property ladder in Manchester. We own our little 2-bed house. I love it. It's so cosy. We are we live on like an estate, and my ultimate dream is to move up to Northumberland, further north, live in a little cottage kind of in the middle of nowhere with as many dogs and cats as possible, basically. I aim to be like that old witch lady who everyone's like, oh, she talks to the animals, she's a friend of the crows, that kind of thing. I think part of my major life plan in later life is to start feeding the crows and have them bring me gifts and like just become a friend to the crows and wildlife in general when I live in Northumberland in a cottage. So I'd like to be the old lady on the street that all the kids think's a witch. That's my overriding umbrella life plan. But other than that, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not really a 5-year plan type of gal. Me and my partner in total now, gone off on a tangent there, haven't I? Me and my partner in total now have been together for, it will be 5 years this August, which is a long time for me in the past, because I used to get itchy feet and always want to travel and be away, and in later life I've flipped from being this like transient waif to being this wholesome homebody. And I never thought I'd get that transient waifness out of my system. But I did. I really, truly did. I did not all of the things that I had on my bucket list, obviously, but I did so much travelling, so much living out of bags, so much working in other countries and other cities that now there's no place that I'm happier than snuggled up with my candles on in my cosy little living room with my dog and my cat and my partner. And this is like this is truly where I want to be. I want to live slowly as much as I can with a full-time job, do you know what I mean? Live slowly, go on walks with my dog, be at home, build a home, cook nice food, and just feel cosy. I think part of that is, if you didn't follow me here from TikTok and you found me solely on YouTube, this February the 7th, I will be 4 years sober, because I am a recovering alcoholic. I think you're always recovering, because I guess although I feel really strong in my sobriety right now, the reason that I still say that I'm an alcoholic, I don't normally use the word recovering. I normally just say, my name's Holly and I'm an alcoholic. Because that is such a big, scary word that sentence reminds me that I can't just have one drink. So if I start saying that I'm not an alcoholic, I feel like in my mind that will open these doors of, oh, well, maybe I've not got a problem. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't want to open those doors. And the power of the words that you say, I think, to me anyway, sets my brain in that place where I am an alcoholic. I cannot have a drink. But yeah, I've not had a drink for almost 4 years. If you want to know more about that, I'm an open book, so you can either head over to my TikTok, and there is a sobriety playlist at the top of my page, or feel free to pop any questions that you have in the comments of this video. I'm truly an open book with my recovery, the steps that I took for my own personal recovery. All recovery is different, all recovery is valid. If you've not got a problem with drinking or anything, or you just don't want to hear this, I will not be offended if you fast forwarded this portion of the video. But I'm just going to leave that here, because my YouTube channel is just a place where I share the wholesome life that being a sober person has allowed me to have, because I had the opposite of this life before. I was a chaotic nightmare before, like really chaotic. So maybe that's why I'm so wholesome now. But I'll leave this portion of the video here. If you do have any questions about anything, please pop it in the comments below, or if you head over, I'll show you. If you head over to my TikTok, it's just here. It's, let me see if I can, it's the same name, and then just along the top there is, that was me, you don't want to watch that. There is a sober tips and tales playlist. I mean, now I 90% do like TV reviews and stuff, but I did start my TikTok page about talking about sobriety, and I still do the odd sobriety video on there, but it is mostly just, I just share my hobbies and the things that I enjoy doing. I feel like because staying sober just feels for me now something that is, it doesn't feel anymore like something I have to work on. That is not true for everyone who is 4 years into their sober journey, but that is true for me. I don't feel like it's a work in progress. I feel like it just is. So talking about it all the time began to feel forced. Not disingenuous, because I remember the things that I went through trying to get sober, but just like I was really having to think about what I needed to say about sobriety all the time. And if people ask me questions on there, I will talk about anything and tell people anything. And during like December and things like that, I will ramp up the sober content to help people who are trying to stay sober in like harder times, bank holiday weekends, things like that. But as a general rule, although I am openly an alcoholic, I'm openly in recovery from my addiction, it's just not something that I want to talk about all the time anymore. But I am here if people do want help and advice. So if that's you, please head over to my TikTok, please ask me whatever you want, and I'll leave the sober bit there, okay? Done. But if anyone's got any questions, I will answer them on this channel, or if you want to know my full sober story, I will happily make a video and tell you that start to finish, if that's something you're interested in. But I feel like people don't follow me on here for that content. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me do a little show and tell of the living room. The sound might not be as good because I've just switched to my phone for this content, because the camera that I've got can be a bit laggy when I'm filming. Like not just the talking head version of me. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So this is my fireplace. It is very old lady-ish, but I adore it. Let me just clean this lens. I would say that my style is maximalist fortune teller. I'm just watching Lucy Wood there on YouTube. I love her weekly vlogs. So this, I'll show you what's on the fireplace, because it is quite busy. If you can just ignore these as well. So these are the string lights, just the tiny little copper wire lights that I put up for New Year. And I do need to take them down. But when I'm snuggled up and reading a book at night, can you see they just look so cozy? There's 2 sets on, but let's just turn them off. So I'm going to take them off at the end of Jan. I just feel like I need a bit of January sparkle. So this peacock is something that my mum gave me years ago. This candle is from a place that I have taken you in my vlogs called the Raspberry Bazaar. They're like handmade candles and I just love them. My mum bought me this gorgeous little pot. This is from a place where I've also taken you in my vlogs at Tynemouth Market. This lady who just frames just random little things from gardening books and all of that kind of stuff, and then she distresses the frames, and I'm just obsessed. Also from Tynemouth Market at an antique stall, my dad bought me these dogs, and they are one of my most prized possessions. I just love them. I adore them. So I've got the 2 dogs, and then at the moment I've got some winter berries still in here. This vase was a Tesco find by my mother-in-law that she bought for me, and I'm just obsessed with that. I think it looks so expensive, and it's just a Tesco find. So yeah, I'll keep my winter berries in until springtime. I normally just have seasonal flowers in there, but I'm just loving the winter berries at the moment. I have a pea that I bought off Etsy, P for Paula. And my mum got me this Bieber candle for Christmas. And then I have this lamp, which was from IKEA many years ago. And then these plants are a small, there was small like trailing plants from IKEA that were a £5. And then I got just some of, I think it's eucalyptus, that is it? No, it's not actually, because that's eucalyptus down there. I don't know what it is. But these trailing plants, and then I just got loads of the stems from Dunelm, broke them up and kind of built them into a larger plant. So it's an IKEA plant base and then loads of stems from Dunelm. And then also at Christmas, you will have seen if you watch my video, when I build my garland, I add all of these stems to my garland to give it a little bit of depth. This is just a tiny little plant from Primark, and it looks so real. And someone who watches my videos asked about this one. This is also from the same lady as the red clover, and it is an old postcard with a painting of feet on it. I don't know if it's like acupuncture points, or I think that's what it is, but I absolutely love that, and that just sits over the fire. And then I'll quickly show you my gallery wall, but first, these candle sconces I'm obsessed with. They are from Etsy. I think they were £25 each, and I just have shuffle, one on each side of the fireplace. This is not real, by the way. This is like a ceramic thing. This lamp I'm also obsessed with. It's got like real pressed flowers inside it, and it just gives off the nicest glow. That was from a tiny little antique shop in Alnwick, and I think it was about £18. I just love that. I love it. It gives off like the nicest warm glow in the corner. It's heaven. And then for my gallery wall, which looks like this is where like the witchiness comes in, I think. So there's this gorgeous picture of my dad and his brother when they were little that's been like redone. I don't know, digitally remastered. I don't know. And then from Etsy, I have this gorgeous plate. I can't remember. There we go. It's called the Lucky Fox on Etsy. The Lucky Fox on Etsy. She does loads of different ones. So we have the three-eyed cat. And then I've got my peacock feathers on the wall here. That little mirror is just from IKEA. And then this gorgeous big thing here, it's like bamboo. Like, you know those, my gran used to have like old, like yearly calendars in her kitchen made of the same stuff. I've got a similar one in my bedroom as well. These are from an online shop called Love Frankie. You can get them in squares, you can get them larger than that. I think that's 90 centimetres all the way around, but they do 120 centimetres. And it's just this gorgeous painting of the forest, and I just love that. And then I've got a P for Paula on the fireplace. I've got a D for Daphne on the wall. That's also from Etsy. It's just from like this little metal workshop, but I cannot remember what it was called, I'm afraid. This little gorgeous vintagey picture is just from TK Maxx. Just a little hanging basket that my friend Kay bought me as a housewarming present in my last flat, with just some leaves in there. And this is also from Etsy. This is from a steampunk shop. If you just Google like steampunk ladybird, I've got a ladybird, but I also bought my uncle a dung beetle. So if you like that, which I don't think many people do, I just like a little cabinet of curiosities. If you like that, that is from Etsy. And I also have a moth to match, so they do loads of different ones. Then also from Etsy, I just have this palmistry hand, which if you type palmistry wall hanging, I think that should come up. I don't have a list of the shops, I'm afraid. So there's that. And then also from the Lucky Fox, I have these 3 decorative plates with the eyes on, which I love. This chain is just from Amazon with the phases of the moon. That is from TK Maxx. That is from a little Christmas market stall. It's not a real butterfly, don't worry. And then there is the moth that I've just told you about. So that is my little gallery wall at a distance. And I just think it's so cute. All of these pieces of furniture are Facebook Marketplace finds. These like 70s kind of furniture bits. And then this was actually an acquirement from an ex-boyfriend many years ago. And you can see I have painted it, and the dog's chipped it because this is her toy box here, and she gets that out and she's chipped all the paintwork because she's bad. I'll show you these as well. These are more from that same market stall at Tynemouth. So that's that. That's my little living room. If there's any other bits that you see in the background that you like or that you hate, let me know. I love my little living room. I think it is super cozy. Feels like a real cocoon when you sort of sat in here with a book. I think it's heaven. I don't know if you like it, but I love it, and that's all that really matters. And that's all that really matters in your home, isn't it? Is if you love it. Like I've said, I say I am a maximalist Victorian fortune teller. That's my interior style. So I will leave the Q&A portion here. I actually started watching, you all will have seen it because this came out years ago, but I was just in the mood for something last night and I didn't know what it was, and I stumbled upon Daisy Jones and the Six, which is apparently loosely, you'll all know, which is loosely based. It was a very popular book. I don't even know who it was by, I'm sorry. It's loosely based on the story of Fleetwood Mac, but it is fictionalised. So it's like set in the 1970s. It's about this band getting together. And normally I'm all about the thrillers, murder mystery and that kind of stuff. But you know when you just feel a bit burnt out with the genre that you're always in? I just like something a bit more light-hearted. And the 1970s in America in that time with all the music is, if I could choose another time to live in, that's when it would be. I would love to have been, not now, when I was younger, now I couldn't be arsed. I would love to have been on a tour bus with like a folk band in the 1970s, travelling across America. That is peak for me. And I know it's a cliche and everyone laughs when you love Almost Famous, but Almost Famous is one of my favourite films, unashamedly one of my favourite films. So Daisy Jones and the Six very much reminds me of that. If that's your thing and you've not watched it, because I definitely, when it first came out, watched the first episode, but sometimes I'm just not in the headspace to watch things. I need to be really in the mood for something. And that thing that I'm normally in the mood for is true crime documentaries or murder mystery whodunit type programmes. Just really dark and depressing stuff. So yeah, I felt like something a bit more lighthearted, so I'm going to watch Daisy Jones and the Six, put the washing machine on, let the veg roast away, and then I'll come back and show you my gnocchi later on. Okay, all the veg is roasty toasty. I left it a bit long, some bits are burnt, but it all adds to the flavour, doesn't it? So I'm just going to pop that stuff into the soup maker with a veggie stock cube and a little spoonful of Marmite for some of that umami flavour. Do you know what I mean? Not too much, mind. And I can add more in if I need. So we'll just do like minimal amounts and then add more in if needed. This garlic's all nice and gooey now. And it just squeezes right on out. Ugh, and it tastes like heaven. The garlic was quite little, so I did 2 today. That one's still pretty hot. I tried to leave it to cool down so I could squeeze it, but it appears for not quite long enough. Anyway, there we go. All the garlic's in there. Then I'm just going to spoon in the veg. All the veg is in there now. I'm just going to do like this much Marmite. I might add more later, but for now, that's totally fine. Totally fine. And then I'm just going to add a bit of water up to about there. If it was for soup, I'd go higher. You can see there, it's got like, oh no, you can't see. I can see. So soup, you go to there, but I'm just going to go to about there so it's nice and thick for the gnocchi. And then if there's some sauce left over and I want to make it into a soup because it'll also work, I can just add some more water in later. So there we go. And then this soup maker is a godsend. I love it. If you can see any mess in the background, please ignore it. I'm just halfway through doing all of the washing for the week. And then there we go. That's all in the soup maker. That's all in the soup maker. I've just put it on the sauce setting, but you can do chunky soup, smooth soup, jam, milkshake, frozen drink, smoothie, dessert. And then that just like blends it up and like heats it all up as it cooks it. Oh, that was hot. And then that'll be ready in 23 minutes and 32 seconds. Clever, isn't it? It's a real godsend, but not necessary for this recipe. Not at all necessary. I'm going to go before it starts making really loud blending noises again. Toot toot! Daphne's nicked the good seat, and that's okay. Paul's asking for some treats, but she's already had loads today. She's always screaming for treats. She's so pretty. Yeah. I'm probably going to buckle and give her a couple. Okay. She's only allowed a few because she's only got 3 legs and she likes to sleep a lot, so she's definitely not burning off any calories. But there we go. Daphne's tired after a walk with Jasper. She's nicked the best seat. I'm going to grab a cup of tea and a chocolate croissant and get Daisy Jones and the Six on the telly. I've already got my big candle on, so we're good. Okay, so the soupy saucy is ready. And then all I do is I've got this gnocchi from Aldi. Just need to open this packet. It's gnocchi from Aldi. Throw it into the dish. It's more than it looks. It doesn't look much, honestly. But a quarter of this is enough for your tea. And then I just sort of spoon this soup over. Or sauce, whatever you want to call it. And then it looks like this. So it's like a big thing of soup, really. Then I'm just going to put Parmesan cheese and grated cheddar on the top, whatever cheese you like. Sometimes I put blue cheese if I've got any in, but I don't have any in. I'm going to bake that in the oven and serve it with garlic bread and broccoli. I'm going to bake it in the oven for probably about 200 for about 40 minutes and just keep checking on it. Maybe hoy the grill on for 5 minutes at the end to just get the cheese nice and crispy. And I'll come back and I'll show you at the end. It feels like a lot of steps for a very easy recipe, but I guess that's how it feels when you're trying to explain stuff, doesn't it? It's super simple. It's just each step takes a little time, but it is really very easy and it's really delicious. And the more effort you put in, the more it feels special, doesn't it? Like nice to eat. So I'm going to go and grate some boring cheese. I'll see you when it's done.